DK back at you with another video here for week 1 of the NFL preseason, and today I'm going to be breaking down the main slate here on Thursday. So just a quick little note here for week 1 of the preseason. So this is kind of how most teams will play week 1. They'll have their starters either not play at all or play maybe a quarter or so. And then you got the backups and third strings. They usually pick up a couple quarters, and then you got the guys at the end of the roster that maybe get in for the last quarter or so. Now that I'm not saying that's how every team plays it, but that's how most of the teams are gonna go about week 1. So with that information, the starters, if they play, you can play them. Like a starter can definitely get you there in a quarter. A long touchdown run or a long reception definitely can happen. But I'm just going to focus more on the backup guys, the guys that are more guaranteed, or not guaranteed minutes, but I should say guaranteed more playing time. So let's start with QB today, and probably my favorite play here would be Joe Webb III here for Houston. So let me go to Houston really quick here. Their depth chart for quarterback. So it's Deshaun Watson who, probably, will play, a series or two maybe. And then McCarron, who's out. He's going to be out for the rest of the preseason. That leaves Joe Webb. So, I feel really confident targeting Joe Webb. He's a guy that does have rushing upside as well. I really like quarterbacks who have that rushing upside. So I think Joe Webb plays at least 3 quarters. And for that reason, probably my favorite quarterback play on this slate. Another guy I'm going to bring up here. Get off Houston. It's going to be Trace McSorley. So let me go to Baltimore real quick. Where's Baltimore? There we go. So Baltimore, they got some quarterback. They got Lamar Jackson, RG3, who's going to be out, and then Trace McSorley. They do have Joe Callahan here at the end of the bench, but he just signed a contract, so I don't know how much he'll play. Again, Lamar Jackson, you could play him. He'll probably play a series or two, maybe up to a quarter. He's a guy that can definitely get it done for you on the ground. So I don't think Lamar Jackson's out of play, but I think McSorley is going to go super low owned. I don't think anyone will even consider him on the slate, but he's a guy at Penn State another guy that has that rushing upside and probably is going to be guaranteed some good minutes. Again, I don't know how much Callahan will play, if at all. So I think McSorley gets at least a couple quarters here and has that rushing upside. So he's another quarterback that I do like that. I think he goes really low owned. Next guy here is Drew Lock. Looked pretty solid in that in the first Hall of Fame game here. And Denver came out and said they do want to play this guy a good amount of time. So he's getting some hype. He played pretty good. So I think he's another guy you can consider. Let me go to Washington really quick. So I want to talk about Dwayne Haskins from Ohio State. So, you got Keenum and McCoy at the top spots here. I really don't expect them to see much playing time. McCoy, he's ruled out. Okay. Keenum will probably, they did have him listed as the backup. Obviously, McCoy's out, so Keenum, I really don't see him playing much. That kind of leads Dwayne Haskins for me. He's a guy that, is going to be the number 3 guy. He's a guy that can get you some rushing upside as well. So he's another QB that you definitely can consider. Has looked pretty decent too so far in practice. Last guy I want to bring up here, if I can get to him, is Jarrett Stidham for New England. Where's New England here? Here we go. So, obviously they got Tom Brady, Brian Hoyer. Really don't expect them to play much. And then I probably don't see Tom Brady playing at all. Brian Hoyer will maybe play a series or so. Danny Etling, not even a quarterback anymore. So that leaves Jarrett Stidham as basically the only other quarterback on the roster. He's from Maryland. I think you can be pretty safe in thinking that he's going to play probably at least 3 quarters. So he's high up there with Joe Webb of the guaranteed minutes. So Stidham, another quarterback that I do like here. But let's move on to the running back position. So let me go to Seattle really quick here. Another team that they're going to be kind of thin at the running back position. And I just saw a tweet too from Joe Fan, a beat reporter for Seattle. The Seahawks have added Xavier Turner, who is obviously not on this list. Given how many injuries, he expects Turner to get some run, a good amount of run, as well as Bo Scarball. So Bo Scarball from Alabama, the beat reporter said that he's probably going to get a lot of run. Again, we want guys who are going to be out there a lot. Minutes equals money. You got Chris Carson, Rashad Penny, J.D. McKissick. Those are 3 staples in the regular season last year for Seattle. I don't see them playing much. And then you have C.J. Prosise and Homer here, both hurt. So again, beat reporter said Scarborough is going to play a lot. I think you got to consider him. I think he goes really low owned. I don't think a lot of people are considering him. So I do like Bo Scarborough a good amount here. Let's see. Next I'll talk about, I think will be kind of popular, and that's Brian Hill. Just because he looked good, in that Hall of Fame game. Carried the ball 11 times for 57 yards. Caught a couple footballs and scored a touchdown. So I think he'll be pretty popular, but another guy that you definitely can consider here. Let me go to New England really quick. Where are we at here? Okay, there we go. And we got Damian Harris here. He's impressed so far in training camp. And, one of the beat reporters said he's going to play a lot in this game. Again, minutes equals money. So Damian Harris, if they said he's going to get a lot of touches, I think you've got to consider him here for New England. So I do like him. Let me see. Another guy, another Williams, I will bring up here. Is Dexter Williams from Green Bay. So there's only 4 current running backs on Green Bay's roster. Again, the top guys aren't going to play much. Dexter Williams is a rookie, 6th-round pick, so I assume they want to see what they got out of him. Again, I like playing the rookies, the younger guys for sure. So Dexter Williams, another running back I thought I'd bring up. All right, let's move on to wide receiver. And a guy that's getting a lot of hype here, and that's Mo Harris for New England. Even said Harris has been a training camp standout thus far. New England, they're not going to play. Here, let me go to New England really quick, just so you can see their depth chart. Obviously, Edelman's not going to play. No Demaryius Thomas. Dorsett will probably play a bit. But then you got Mo Harris, who probably will start and play some decent minutes. So I do like him a good amount here. Another guy, too, is Braxton Berrios here. Another guy that also has looked good in practices. He'll play more in the slot. But, Patriots a little thin at wide receiver. So Berrios and Mo Harris, I do like them. Don't mind at all pairing them together with Jarrett Stidham. Okay, let me move on to Zacchaeus, I believe that's how you pronounce his name. Talked about him in my first video, just because, again, he was getting hype. I did see 6 targets in that first Hall of Fame game. Again, he's getting some hype in training camp, saw a lot of targets, so I think he is another guy that you definitely got to consider. Okay. Another, I don't want to talk about so many receivers from New England, but Jacoby Myers has looked really good, getting extensive, work with the first team. Again, though, I don't want to go too crazy on my New England Patriots wide receivers. Okay, let's move on to tight end. Tight end, kind of a crapshoot, but one guy that I do kind of like here is T.J. Hawkinson, the rookie out of Detroit. Has looked pretty good so far again. He's a guy out of Iowa that has some pretty big upside. And I know it's only week 1 of the preseason, but I still think they give him a decent amount of time. He's probably going to be the starter for Detroit, so I still think he gets probably a quarter, maybe 2. So a guy that pretty athletic. So I do like T.J. Hawkinson. Another guy I will bring up here is Mike Gesicki out of Miami, out of Penn State. He was a guy at Penn State that was really productive a couple years ago. A guy that's a great pass catcher. So I think just Gesicki as well as T.J. Hawkinson, two tight ends that I consider. Again, tight end, really kind of a crapshoot, guys. You basically got to get lucky. Hopefully your guy scores, gets in the end zone, but it's really, really crapshoot. So I'm not going to try to break down all these different tight ends. As far as defenses go, don't really have a strong take. What I'm probably going to do is, look up the over-unders, see which one is the lowest over-under or one of the lower over-unders and pick a defense from there. Again, defense kind of a crapshoot as well. But yeah, other than that, I think that's about it, guys. So if you have been enjoying the content, I really would appreciate if you would like this video and subscribe if you haven't. If you have any questions, you can leave in the comment section down below. It's also really important to follow me on Twitter, guys. I will put that in the description below. There could be some late breaking news about some guys getting big minutes or something like that. So I will do my best to be really active on Twitter, retweet relevant information. So again, really important to follow me on Twitter. And I'll be back for another video. Let me see. What is there? I think there's a little slate on Saturday. There's 2 games slate on Friday. Don't know if I have a video for that. I'll probably have a video up for Saturday's 3-game slate. So I will see you guys then.